Hello everyone, welcome to Business Northeast. So today we have with us Dr. Shabiha Nudrat Hazarika, who is the founder of Arborist Innovations Pvt that creates eco-friendly biofungicides, promoting sustainable farming and reducing chemical use. So welcome to our show.
Welcome. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. So firstly, I'd like to know what inspired you to start this Arborist Innovation.
Actually, while doing my PhD, my PhD was on the basis of microbial biotechnology, where I was involved in exploring the biodiversity which was related to tea plants. And we explored the tea industries that were situated in Assam, that were situated in Meghalaya. And as we know that northeastern biodiversity is very rich in case of be it flora, fauna or microbes. But since my background is from science and I was into microbiology, we explored the microflora and basically the endophytes, which is the microbes that resides inside the plant tissues. And those microbes, they are known to be beneficial in related to disease control as well as promoting growth and it is mostly present in all the plants. But since tea plants, they are a very important cash crop of our country, as it is well established since, and the industry is established like more than 200 years. So while doing my PhD, during the explorations of the biodiversity, getting to know the insight of the growth promoting capability of those microbes, disease controlling property of those microbes, that triggered that why not shall we move from the lab to the field. Rather than keeping it to the field, we can revolutionize the tea industry as well as the agricultural crops. So that was the first moment, and also my PhD mentor also, he set up that problem. He gave us that facility during my PhD time, which I did at ISST itself, and that was the first stepping step. And while writing my PhD thesis, I got to know about opportunity by the Department of Biotechnology. They give a fund called as Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is supported by Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. So while writing my thesis, I opted for applying for that grant, and somehow by several rounds of screening and pitching, I have received that grant, which is for a period of 2 years, and they sanctioned the amount of 50 lakhs. So that was my beginning to this career of entrepreneurship and beginning of my company, which is which I named as Arborist Innovations Pvt Limited. And further, while after getting the grant, what the first thing that triggered in our mind that why not to only focus on tea industry right now, because in agricultural crops there are many sectors who are competing or who are many products are established, but tea industry somehow it is lacking behind.
Yes.
And mostly chemicals are used rapidly, and in recent times also, I think in the last year only, about 42% of the tea which were exported, most of the products that were exported were returned back due to the chemical residues present. And even our government of India, they have given emphasis on how to change from chemical to become sustainable, to become eco-friendly. So with all those things, it's a small things, but taking all the pieces, we thought that why not to explore those microbes, and by using those microbial solutions, we want to pave our way for a better and sustainable and resilient future, not only in Assam, but in whole country, basically targeting the tea industry as of now.
So why did you choose and focus on only the indigenous microbes for the development of biofungicides?
Actually, the concept with indigenous microbes is that because microbes, if we go back to the concept, is that depending on the geographical locations, their properties are different. Okay, and since now we are focusing on the Assam's tea industry, rather than using the microbes from other plant sources, other geographical location, why not to take those microbes which are present within the tea plants and also in the particular geographical location where the Assam tea is grown. They are natively present in the soil. They are well adapted to this ecological conditions, to this climate conditions. So rather than incorporating some other microbes, that would be more beneficial. And also, without knowing, suppose we incorporate some other microbes from other sources, they might be pathogenic for the tea plants also. So that's what we thought of, is using the indigenous microbes. And among that also, the tea plants, they have soil microbes, they have plant tissue, within the tissue, as I already mentioned, endophytes, they have those microbes also. But the plants, they themselves, they select particular microbes from the soil for their benefit. So since the plants, by the natural ecosystem only, they're recruiting the soil microbes within them for their benefit. So why not to explore those microbes? So we particularly focus on the endophytes, which are very well established, and we have also, through our many publications, we have been able to establish that they are beneficial not only in controlling disease, but also they help in minimizing the infestations by pests, because they have some pesticidal effect also. They help in growth promotion, because as a whole they are a full package. So we thought, that's what we thought of, exploring those indigenous microbes.
Okay, so now in how do you think your products differentiate from the other traditional chemical fungicides in terms of effectiveness and cost?
So first of all, in terms of effectiveness, I'll like to tell that the traditional chemical fungicides, which are being rapidly used in the tea industry, they leave residues. And if the tea, which is tea leaves, which are used for the production of the made tea that the consumers are consuming, if they have some chemical residues, that is not only harming the human, but they are also harming the soil health, the soil microflora, the water, and also the non-target organisms like birds, insects, and everything. But the biofungicides, our product, it consists of microbes which are already been isolated and from the tea plants. So they don't have such chemical residues. They don't, while after spraying also, they do not leave any such kind of residues, and also they are not harmful to the plants. So that is the first criteria how we can differentiate our product biofungicides against the chemical one which is used. And also one more thing is that till date the biofungicides, like which is most commonly used, and also our product, they have no such toxicity, because all the products, all the components that we are using, it's eco-friendly products, they are sustainable, and they are not reported to also harm any other kinds of target or non-target organisms. They kill the pathogens, but they do not kill the insects which are beneficial for the soil. They don't kill the soil microflora, which is beneficial again for the soil and the environment. So as such, in case of effectiveness, I'd like to say that much. And in case of cost, like biofungicides, they can be prepared by using basic, like from agricultural waste, by just growing the microbes in a proper microbiological lab. So we need minimal infrastructure, minimal conditions. But for chemical synthesis, they need a huge industry. So there is also a cost involved. So since we are using minimal raw materials, already the cost of production is minimized in that case. And also, since the biofungicides, they don't have any harmful residues, so it will not lead to any hidden harm to the society or the environment. But in case of chemicals, there is some hidden effect, like we need to degrade the environmental residues, we need to go on for continuous soil testing, we need to go check the health of farmers, check the persons who are involved in using the chemicals. So there is some hidden cost also involved. So that's all I'd like to tell about the effectiveness and cost. And But till now, since I am not yet generated the revenue, but we are projecting it to be the price to be quite less than the chemical products which are already been used in the market.
So what kind of research goes into ensuring the safety of your products?
For safety, first of all, while there is some steps while developing the biofungicides, like we start with microbial isolation and screening. Okay, so while isolation, we keep utmost effect that we do it in a closed chamber like the laminar airflow, so that not only prevents the contamination of the microbes but also prevents effect on the human. So that is the first step we take by doing it in the laminar airflow. And prior to doing the isolation and screening, we prepare some media. So that also we prepare it by after proper sterilization methods like using the autoclave. Okay, so that is the first step. And then while screening also, we do several levels of screening, like we test antifungal tests, then we do the plant growth promoting tests. So while each experiment, like while doing the antifungal test, we use some pathogens. So pathogens, they may be harmful to us, they may not be harmful, because mostly we are working related to plants, but still, so that we can minimize it, every level of negative effect on us. So we do all the R&D work inside the laminar airflow. And after the product is developed, the biofungicide is developed, before spraying, we test its toxicity on, so that it does not have any negative effect on the water, it does not have a negative effect on the soil. So minimal small scale trials will we do, so that to check whether it is having any toxicity on the soil, whether it is having any residues in the water. So that level of toxicity studies are there. And cell line cytotoxicity is also checked, so that it does not have, because we are using direct microbes, so microbes can affect the cells also. So if it is affecting the cells, so it will be toxic. So we do those toxic assay also. And that is the basic criteria, like laminar flow and the toxicity assays we do. And after the development of the biofungicide, and then while spraying, what we do is that to the sprayers we provide some gloves or masks, so that, because they get direct exposure, although we know that biofungicides, they will not harm the human or the soil, but we need to take some precautions, because we can't afford affecting the sprayers or the persons who are directly handling them. So that is the basic clothing or those things we keep in mind. And after spraying, what we do is we take some leaf samples, we take some soil samples, take some root samples to check the efficacy, to check whether it is having any harmful effect on the plant or not. Because just marketing a product or just commercialization will not solve the purpose of environmental sustainability. We have to look into the safety also. So that points we keep in mind. And for the product, what mainly goes into R&D is that we check the shelf life, we check whether the microbes that are present, they are viable or not, because after a certain period, the microbes which is present in the biofungicide, they may keep on dying. So to monitor those things, we regularly check the shelf life, we regularly keep on checking the viability, we regularly keep on checking their effectiveness, like the antifungal properties, like the growth promoting traits. So that's all we do the R&D work for determining the complete safety and effectiveness of our product.
Okay, so what is the budget allocation for the research and development?
Budget is that initially, since we are into R&D right now, and from field, from lab to the field, okay, so mostly the budget is allocated like 30 to 50% we need for the R&D work right now. And after the production, the rest percent will go for the commercialization, the marketing strategies, and for revenue generation, we are thinking to go for B2B as well as B2C. And along with the R&D work, there are several criteria, like some percent is allocated for the isolation and screening part for the purchase of equipments, consumables, some part for the manpower, some part for the travel, production costs, field trials because field trial is not like that it is done for one season. We need to do for multiple seasons, multi-location. So 25 to 30% from the R&D we keep for that part also. So that way it is divided. And for revenue generation stage, since we are already, I mentioned that we are not in that stage, but we are planning to divide it like direct sales or going through the already established retailers or directly selling our products to the tea industries. So mainly we are focusing for B2B or B2C type of business.
Okay. So lastly, what are your future plans for Arborist?
Arborist is that, as the name says, it is the meaning is that we would like to nurture the trees. Okay, it's like the name itself is a tree doctor. So rather than focusing only on the tea plants, we'd also like to move to the agricultural crops, cereals, because tea, although it is a cash crop, it is used in India, it is used in Northeast, it is used worldwide. But agricultural crops is also very important for our day-to-day life, and in that agricultural crops also the chemicals are extensively used. So we'd also like to shift into that part. And also, since we are working related to microbes, we are working related to microbial solutions, we'd like to provide services like consultancy to the tea industries or the farmers. We can directly give them training how to use the biofungicides, how to use the biofertilizers, and what harm the chemicals are giving, what benefits the bioproducts are giving. So we'd like to give them insights into those things. And services related to, we can give like to the university students, like to the undergraduate students, or even the research scholars. We can provide them services like if they want to test their samples for antifungal properties, antibacterial properties, so we can provide such type of services also.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers. Keep watching Business Northeast.